Birds. Birds are intelligent survivors. They eat seeds, fruit, nectar, insects, worms, fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, carrion, which means dead things, and eggs. So they have a good, well-balanced diet. Um, so one thing that it's fun to grow some grains that birds enjoy and to share those with our feathered neighbors. Um, Pictured below in the description box is a plant of sorghum, which is a fun choice. And that grew from some chicken seed that I tossed out onto the mulch in this area. We have colorful birds perching on the stalks and enjoying the grains. It's fun to share the food forest with the wild birds most of the time. They also pick up seeds they find on the mulch. Many times when I walk out into the food forest, birds are on the ground, pecking the mulch, feeding on seeds and insects. However, when you have an exceptional crop of fruit or berries or nuts that you are looking forward to enjoying for yourself, there are ways to increase your chances of getting the harvest before the birds do. You have to outthink the birds who are always watching and waiting for fruits and nuts to ripen. They know when the fruit is ready and they take the first bite as soon as it's ripe. So scarecrows, we're going to talk scarecrows. One day, just as the seedlings were starting to appear, many crows landed on the forest floor and started digging up the seeds. And those were seeds that I had planted. So we chased the crows away and then placed this dragon kite in a tree near the seedlings. This dragon-faced kite is an incredibly useful scarecrow. You can see pictures of the dragon kite below in the description box. The dragon kite scared the crows so much that they haven't come back into the garden since we hung it in the tree. And crows are afraid if you hang a real dead bird on a pole or tree for them to see. So crows think that this dragon kite is a dead bird and they won't go near it. So now crows fly by, and when they see the scary dragon kite that looks like a dead bird, they cry out with a fearful caw, and they won't land anywhere near it. Even our pet turkeys were afraid of this kite and moaned in fear when they saw it. There you go. Oh, like kind of like that. It's funny. It was very scary to them. So compared to our first scarecrow, which didn't seem to do anything at all, this dragon kite face has been amazing. And then down below in the description box, you can see a scarecrow that doesn't scare crows or the two turkeys that were hanging out with it. Although my granddaughter and I enjoyed making this silly scarecrow from old clothes and a Halloween mask, this homemade scarecrow didn't scare the crows at all. He did, however, startle me many times when I saw him out of the corner of my eye and I thought someone was in the food forest with me. So hanging an actual dead crow or an effigy of a dead crow, like a fake dead crow, and placing that visible to the crows will work much better than an old-fashioned scarecrow. So another thing for any kind of bird, this will work. We use bamboo stalks and nets to create a little cages around certain trees when their fruit was ripening. So in these pictures below in the description box, you'll see bamboo stalks, how we use bamboo stalks to form a pyramid base to lay netting over. This way the mesh does not touch the tree's leaves and irritate the foliage. This system prevents all kinds of birds from pecking at the fruit as it ripens and saved many crops for us over the years. Something strange has happened in the last few years, though. The birds are leaving the nectarines alone as they ripen. Whenever I walk out to this area, I see birds pecking for seeds or insects on the ground. I think they prefer the seeds and insects over the fruits. Now that we have a wide assortment of seed-bearing plants, they have more options. On the other hand, maybe they were eating the fruits because that was all that was there. Uh, I say here, time will tell if this is a pattern or a fluke. And I do notice that we get quite a bit of fruit off of our trees, even now, years after I wrote this, like a year or two after I wrote this. Okay, and here's another way we saved our pecan nuts from the crows. And this is going to be a story, but it may be helpful for you as well. In 2012, during our first pecan harvest season, I stood back and watched as crows circled the pecan trees, cawing in celebration. They make a huge ruckus. Caw, 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 and they're all doing it all at once. It's like a big party. They're picking pecans and carrying them away. I call it the celebration of the crows or something. I was helpless to stop them as I stood on the ground looking up. However, my power of observation helped me solve the problem. I saw that I could only reach the nuts within reach when I was standing on a 6-foot ladder, and any nuts growing higher than that went to the crows. I wanted to be able to reach more nuts. So looking up at the tallest branches, I saw that they were growing straight up vertically. More nuts would be within my reach if more branches grew horizontally. That's when I got the idea to trim the vertical stems. So that following winter, when the trees were bare, hubby and I got to work cutting the upright branches just above a sideways growth nodes so that future growth would be horizontal, not vertical. And it worked. Here is the tall and loose peak. If you look down in the description box below, you'll see the tall vertical pecan tree before the trimming session. It stands very tall with very thin growth. And then further down in the description box, you'll see pictures of after trimming the highest vertical branches. The tree grew fuller and broader, and the fruits were within reach. And you can see the colors much better too, because pruning is a benefit to trees. So now the crows still get the uppermost nuts, but we get plenty of pecans from the lower branches. What a difference the trimming made. Now we keep it trimmed so we can walk underneath the branches. So we keep it sort of in more of an umbrella shape. So those are my tips for protecting plants and from other creatures, or protecting your harvests from other creatures that would want to eat them before you can. I hope they help you. Remember to observe and learn from everything around you, and you may come up with many solutions for problems that you can share to help others too. Check out this quote from one of my favorite historical characters, George Washington Carver. And here it is. I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting system through which God speaks to us every hour if we will only tune in.